EMP Commission warns of year-long blackout and a massive death toll by Max Lavo at ShePlan.com. A federal EMP Commission report warns that even the smallest EMP attack on our grid system would down it for about a year, if not longer. A year-long blackout would certainly be coupled with a massive death toll that would devastate entire populations. The so-called EMP Commission report said that this threat is very real, jeopardizes modern civilization, and would set back living conditions to those last seen in the 1800s. As a result of the chaos, millions would likely die, according to the report titled Assessing the Threat from Electromagnetic Pulse (EMP) for the recently re-established Commission to Assess the Threat to the United States from Electromagnetic Pulse (EMP) attack. The United States, and modern civilization more generally, faces a present and continuing existential threat from naturally occurring and man-made electromagnetic pulse assault and related attacks on military and critical national infrastructures. A nationwide blackout of the electric power grid and grid-dependent critical infrastructures, communications, transportation, sanitation, food and water supply, could plausibly last a year or longer. Many of the systems designed to provide renewable, standalone power in case of an emergency, such as generators, uninterruptible power supplies, and renewable energy grid components, are also vulnerable to EMP attack, said the 27-page report. A long-term outage owing to EMP could disable most critical supply chains, leaving the U.S. population living in conditions similar to centuries past, prior to the advent of electric power, said the July 2017 report provided secrets. In the 1800s, the U.S. population was less than 60 million, and those people had many skills and assets necessary for survival without today's infrastructure. An extended blackout today could result in the death of a large fraction of the American people through the effects of societal collapse, disease, and starvation, added the executive summary. 3 reports on the issue of an EMP attack have been declassified by the Pentagon and 7 more are awaiting clearance. Among those declassified documents was a report from Peter Vincent Pry, who served on a prior EMP commission and is executive director of the Task Force on National and Homeland Security, spelling out the human toll of an EMP attack on the electric grid. He also advises the current commission. In life without electricity, he said the results would be horrific for most, as the vast majority of Americans have virtually no survival skills. He believes the whole year would look something like this. Social disorder. Looting requires a dusk to dawn curfew for those not wanting to risk their lives. People become refugees as they flee powerless homes. The workforce becomes differently employed at scavenging for the basics, including water, food, and shelter. Communications, no TV, radio, or phone service. Transportation, gas pumps will be inoperable. Failure of signal lights and street lights would impede traffic and all traffic would cease after dark, but not many would even have a functioning vehicle anyway. No mass transit metro service and all airlines will be stopped. Water and food, there will be no running water. Stoves and refrigerators will be inoperable. People will have to melt snow, boil water, and cook over open fires. Local food supplies will be exhausted. Most stores will close due to the blackout. Energy, oil and natural gas flows will stop. Emergency medical hospitals will have to operate in the dark. Patients on dialysis and other life support will be threatened. Medications administered and babies will be born by flashlight. Death and injury, casualties from exposure, carbon dioxide poisoning, and house fires increase. All of these should be kept in mind when prepping for the worst. By Max Lavo at ShePlan.com. God bless. Dean James III. Right-Wing Tribune. Be sure to follow us on Nation in Distress and America's Freedom Fighters on Facebook.